She came to his apartment to read poetry. He shot her, ate her, photographed her remains, and then became a celebrity. This isn't a horror movie. This isn't fiction. This is real. And somehow, he walked free. Tonight, we bring you the true story of Issei Sagawa, the Cannibal of Kobe. Paris, 1981. In the heart of the city, among the cobblestone streets and candlelit cafes, a young Japanese student named Issei Sagawa lived in a small, cluttered apartment. He was quiet, polite, obsessively intelligent. To most, he was just another foreign literature student at the Sorbonne. But inside his mind, a monstrous desire had taken root. Issei had been fascinated with cannibalism since childhood. He said it wasn't about violence, it was about beauty. He wanted to, quote, absorb someone's essence. And he had already chosen who. Her name was Renee Hartevelt, a Dutch student, fluent in several languages, artistic, confident. She was kind to Issei, maybe too kind. He invited her to his apartment to read poetry together, and she said yes. Maybe she thought he was harmless. Maybe she felt sorry for him, but she didn't know that a rifle was hidden behind his bookshelf. June 11th, 1981. Renee sat cross-legged on a cushion, reading Rilke aloud. Issei listened, smiled, pretended. Then he stepped behind her, pulled out the rifle, and shot her in the neck. She collapsed instantly, dead. And that's when the nightmare truly began. Issei didn't panic. Instead, he took a knife and began cutting. He photographed everything, bit into raw flesh, ate parts of her thigh, her hip, her nose. He stored what he couldn't finish in the fridge, cooked some, ate cold cuts of her flesh over the next 2 days. He later said, "I felt like I was consuming beauty itself." Let that sink in. Eventually, he tried to dispose of her body parts in a suitcase. At a park near a lake. A taxi driver saw him struggling with the heavy luggage and noticed the blood. Police arrived, opened the suitcase. Inside were the limbs of Renee Hartevelt. They arrested Issei on the spot. In his apartment, they found the rest of her, and the photos, and the recordings. Issei confessed. No hesitation, no remorse. You might think this is where justice was served, but it wasn't. The French court declared him legally insane, unfit to stand trial. Instead of prison, he was sent to a mental hospital. But just months later, he was deported back to Japan. And there, the system failed completely. Because the French records were sealed, Japanese courts had no access to the evidence. They had no jurisdiction. And so, they had no case. Issei Sagawa walked free, a free man, after killing and eating a woman. What happened next? Unbelievable. Issei became a celebrity. He wrote books, gave interviews, even starred in adult films. TV hosts treated him like a bizarre curiosity, and the public couldn't look away. But Renee's family, they never stopped grieving. They never saw justice, and they never understood why the world seemed to celebrate the man who destroyed their daughter. What do you think? Should someone like this ever be allowed back into society? Should fame ever follow a killer? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters in stories like these. Issei Sagawa lived in Tokyo until his health declined in 2021. He died in 2022 at the age of 73. He lived longer than his victim, longer than she ever had a chance to dream. And though he's gone, his story still chills the world because it reminds us that justice isn't always about law. Sometimes, it's about who slips through it. If this story disturbed you, share it, because people need to know what happened. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We bring you real horror and true crime stories from the corners of the world that most have never seen. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.